Michael.
I think childcare is historically something that, unless you're in a crisis situation like World War II, that we just as a country and as a culture looked at it as something that parents need to figure out on their own.
And Michael, I mean, there was so much going on during budget talks this year around potential cuts by the Trump administration to safety net programs like SNAP and Medicaid, and childcare, which in both states is a very patchwork system to navigate as a parent, kind of got left at the end of that list.
A childcare nightmare there. Karen Yee covers poverty for WNYC. Karen, thank you for this.
Thanks, Michael.
WNYC is supported by the Joyce Theater, presenting 48 weeks of dance annually with companies from around the world, showcasing styles from breaking to classical ballet. The new season starts September 16th. Tickets are available now at joyce.org.
On the next Fresh Air, journalist Ruth Marcus joins us to talk about President Trump's combative Attorney General, Pam Bondi. In her latest piece for The New Yorker, Marcus describes how Bondi has upended the Justice Department, reversing policies and firing staff in what she calls the most convulsive transition of power since Watergate. Join us. Weekdays at 2 on WNYC.
Marketplace Morning Report is coming up next, and then in 10 minutes at 9 o'clock, it's the BBC NewsHour on WNYC. Let's check in with London and see what they're working on. Hello, London.
Good morning, WNYC. I'm Sean Lay. On today's NewsHour, M23 rebels in eastern Congo accused of a massacre despite a peace deal. We have eyewitness testimony, and a snatch of old recording gave a sufferer from MND her voice back. That's BBC NewsHour coming up at 9 on WNYC.
Upper 60s now with clouds. We have showers likely. We've had some this morning already. Maybe some thunderstorms with those late this afternoon. Mostly cloudy, a high of 73. Winds gusting, strong ones to 22 miles an hour. Strong again tonight with a low temperature of 64 with showers likely and maybe a thunderstorm overnight. And then tomorrow we have even stronger winds up to 30 miles an hour, a high of 73.
More details are coming in about the Trump administration's plans to purchase a portion of the struggling chip maker Intel.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Bitwarden Password Manager, designed to offer secure password management at this summer's events and festivals from any seat, section, or sideline. Available at bitwarden.com.
I'm David Brancaccio in Los Angeles. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has confirmed now that the Trump administration is looking at the purchase of part of the big American corporation Intel. The stake in Intel would be unusual but not unprecedented. Here's Marketplace's Nancy Marshall-Genzer.
Intel was already getting a federal grant under the CHIPS and Science Act, which was approved during the Biden administration. Yesterday, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick told CNBC the U.S. should get something for that money.
Why are we giving a company worth $100 billion this kind of money? What is in it for the American taxpayer? And the answer Donald Trump has is we should get an equity stake for our money.
Lutnick says this would be a non-voting stake, so the Trump administration wouldn't have a say in how Intel was run. The U.S. government has done this before. It spent about $50 billion to bail out General Motors in 2008 during the Great Recession. But these types of deals can be risky for taxpayers. The government lost about $11 billion on its GM investment. I'm Nancy Marshall-Genzer for Marketplace.
More now on how the global artificial intelligence arms race could disrupt the job market. Today, a dispatch from the annual World AI Conference in Shanghai. China's government is pushing businesses there to integrate the powerful tech across industries. The technology can be a tool to make people more productive, but it can also be a tool for businesses to use fewer workers. Marketplace's China correspondent Jennifer Pack was at the conference.
Walking past is visitor Mao Ziheng.
I've not seen anything impressive at this AI show.
And he's also not worried about being replaced by AI.
I'm in food delivery, and autonomous cars aren't even allowed in most places in China. How can they replace us delivery guys? Not likely in the short term.
But no jobs last forever, says Cheng Sirui. He's the co-founder of Fingerdance, an AI sign languages interpreter.
Yes, AI will reduce the number of jobs like in customer service. But I think AI can solve 80% of the trivial work, and we as humans can focus on the key jobs.
Like software engineering. And there will be new jobs for humans, says Mao Shuhan, co-founder of robotics firm Phi-Bot.
For example, in our research and development of robots, we need humans to do robot testing and safety checks.
Later, a young AI worker told me off mic that AI is evolving fast. He's got to learn to work with it or be replaced by it.
Our Jennifer Pack contributing to Marketplace Tech. You can stream that full report from our homepage now. Markets S&P futures are down 0.2%.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance. On the road and at home, customers can simplify their insurance needs and protect what's important by bundling home and auto with Progressive Insurance. Learn more about Progressive and bundling at progressive.com. And by This Old House Radio Hour podcast, answering listeners' DIY and renovation questions and diving into home design trends, available in podcast apps.
Starting soon, when you search for a gadget or gizmo at bestbuy.com, some of the items will not be from Best Buy. Third-party sellers are being added. Here's reporter Daniel Ackerman looking at the pluses and the minuses.
Amazon has a third-party marketplace. So does Walmart and Lowe's and Nordstrom, Kohl's, Macy's, and Target. So if anything, Best Buy is late to the party with this launch. But it's still an appealing move for a retailer who wants to seem like it offers anything you could ever want, says Anthony Chicumba, a consumer sector analyst at Loop Capital Markets.
So it gives Best Buy much more of an endless aisle as compared to all the products that they currently stock and sell themselves.
And the best part of that endless aisle is it doesn't require an endless warehouse.
Usually Best Buy will not stock the product because they just don't think it's going to sell frequently enough to justify having it in their assortment.
And since retailers like Best Buy already have websites to sell their own stuff, it doesn't take much investment to open the gates to other sellers. Michael Baker, a senior research analyst at D.A. Davidson, says it's kind of like free money.
Those third-party marketplaces have very strong margins because you're basically just taking a royalty.
But one risk of turning yourself into a marketplace, you could be giving your competitors a boost, says Neil Saunders, a retail analyst at Global Data.
If there is overlap with the core categories Best Buy sells, there can be cannibalization. People could buy a marketplace product rather than a Best Buy product, and that can be problematic.
But Saunders says the bigger risk is reputational. If a customer buys a TV from a third party and that TV arrives 2 weeks late or in two pieces,
guess who the customer blames? It's Best Buy, because that's the name that's on the header of the website. And even though they might be dealing with a third party, the customer still sees this as a Best Buy problem.
There are ways retailers can manage this reputational risk, says Tony Moreno of Harvard Business School. For one, they can vet anyone who wants to sell through their site.
There are marketplaces that are more open, like Amazon, for example. Like many vendors can list on Amazon, but companies like Best Buy can be selective about which vendors they want to bring to the platform.
And once they have vendors on board, retailers can sell them other services like advertising and logistics.
Walmart is now doing a lot of advertising and a lot of fulfillment. So part of the money that they make on the marketplace is from selling services to vendors that use Walmart's infrastructure.
Moreno says when you step back and blur your eyes a little, a lot of these retailers are starting to look like tech companies. I'm Daniel Ackerman for Marketplace.
And after a shipment of frozen shrimp bound for Walmart set off radiation detectors at U.S. ports, the FDA is telling people to watch out for the Great Value brand. 3 lots of the frozen shrimp from one supplier in Indonesia have low levels of radioactive cesium-137, a byproduct of nuclear reactors and medical equipment. The FDA says this does not pose an acute health hazard, but it is not good. The FDA alert says if you have one of the lots from Walmart, throw it away. Online, you can search the words FDA advises shrimp. That'll get you the specific lot numbers if you want to check. It's not clear how the shrimp got exposed to the radioactivity. I'm David Brancaccio with the Marketplace Morning Report from APM, American Public Media.
Attention hip implant